I bought a drone! I know! Hello? Yes, I did buy a drone. Actually, I didn't. I won it. I did. I won the drone in a competition in Stockholm, of all places, but here it is. This is the DJI Mini 3 Pro, apparently. This is my first drone. I've not had one before. I've been wanting a drone for a long time, so now that I have one, I thought I'll share it with you and tell you, well, the few things that I've learned so far. I'm a totally drone newbie, so you're sort of along for the ride. But this is what comes in the box. There's a bit of manuals and stuff as well, but you basically get a controller, which looks like this, and you get the drone itself, obviously. So I'll just show you first how this kind of works and how you set it up, because it's kind of neat. So the drone itself has a couple of collision detector sensor things on the front and 2 on the bottom. That's the new thing. I'm going to compare it to the Mini 2 in just a minute. But that's the main difference why it looks so different. It still weighs 249 grams because anything over 250 grams in the US requires licenses and stuff. So that's kind of clever. But it's very compact. I can take it traveling, which is why it's so cool. So the way you use it is you fold these things out. So this one comes out here. That one comes out there. These sort of swivel. And the other one as well. I'm trying to be careful with the propellers here. And then you take that cover of the gimbal. So that's the gimbal there. That's what makes it all so smooth. See, this just moves like that sort of thing. Obviously, it's not turned on. And that's it. There it sits. So it's got 8 blades, 4 propellers. It's got a mighty big battery at the back. That's the bulk of the weight, I think, really. So that thing comes out here. So obviously, I need to get more batteries. It has the gimbal at the front. It has the collision sensors, and then it has a USB-C port and an SD card slot there as well. So that's kind of it. And then the controller comes with 2 little controller rod things that you put into here. I'm sure that's the official term. So you screw them in there, and it's really chunky. It's very sturdy. It feels really good quality. Like it's just heavy enough so you feel you're getting value. And then you pull this out, and that is where you put your phone. So that goes into here, and then that's your controller, right? Just like that. And then you take down here, actually I should have done that before. There is a cable. Let me just do that properly. Take the cable out. So that's the connection from the controller to your phone, goes via that cable. Let me just put the phone back in. This does take a little bit of practice first because it sits just tight. It's not going to fall out, but it takes a little bit to get it's connected. And there we go, USB-C just into there. It comes with the connectors for mini USB, micro USB, and the Apple connector as well, whatever that's called. And that's it. And now if I turn it all on, it's just going to connect magically. So there's a bit of setup initially. It's a little bit of a faff because it's got to update the firmware and it's got to install it on Android. It's not actually in the Play Store, the app. It's you download the APK and install it manually, sort of sideload it. Because of many rules and regulations, Google doesn't like DJI. It's a Chinese company. You get access to sensors, etc. So that's kind of why. But once you sideload it, works beautifully. Put in the comment why you think that might be a good or bad idea. Many opinions on that. But that's basically it. And then you steer it with the controls here. And it's very smooth, very, very smooth. I'll show you lots of footage in just a sec. So that's what's in the box. That's what you get. So my first recent experience with a drone was my friend Heather came to the farm here, and she recorded a bunch of video or footage, and she let me try it as well, and that resulted in a video which I published earlier, which is linked there. And she had the Mini 2, and this is the Mini 3 Pro, apparently. I don't know why the Pro is there. Anyway, I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. So what's the difference? What is the upgrade? Because the new Mini 3 is quite cool, but it's also a lot more expensive now than the 2, obviously, because it's newer. So they weigh the same, 249 gram. The main thing, well, there's a couple of things, but the major thing is the sensor. So this, instead of I've just got my cheat notes here so I can get all the stats right for you. The Mini 2 has a 12 megapixel sensor. This is a 48 megapixels, so way higher resolution. Now they both shoot in 4K, but this can do 60 frames a second, the Mini 2 can do 30 frames a second. So that's the sensor part of it, or the camera sensor. Now it has these collision sensors as well, which the Mini 2 does not. So there's 2 at the front here and there's 2 at the bottom, which means it has front and down collision detection, not behind. I think it does side as well for some reason. I'm not sure about that. So that means that this has obstacle avoidance using something called APAS, which is Assisted Pilot Something System. Yeah, APAS 4.0. And that means it can also track you. So it has the, you know, follow you tracking mode. That's called the active track. Yeah, I know. So it can do that. So if you know, in the software, if you say what to track, it'll actually follow that person or object. So that's kind of neat. And that's why it looks a bit different. It's a bit bulkier, although it weighs the same. It's slightly bigger than the Mini 2 as well. The battery is bigger, and it can actually fly quite a bit longer. So the Mini 2 is rated up to 31 minutes. This is 34/47 minutes. I think you can get different size batteries for it. When I've flown it, I've generally got about half an hour, whereas the Mini 2, I think, from what I hear from Heather and other people, is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So it is a little bit longer flight time, which is nice. But again, I'm definitely going to go for more batteries. That's probably the only way to do it. And the range is longer. So the Mini 2 had 10-kilometer range, which is crazy in itself, 10 kilometers. This has 12. Now, I have not been that adventurous. I think the furthest I've flown this away is about 600 meters down the valley, where the farm is. But yeah, apparently it has in line of sight about 12-kilometer range, which is quite unbelievable. It's really far. So that's impressive. Yeah. So I think, that's about it. Let's go and have a look at the software and we'll fly around a bit. Cool. Hello, we're outside again. So I'm going to turn this on. The way you do that is that you press once and then hold it down. It goes beep, beep, beep. Do the same on the drone, once and press it. And then it just connects on here like magic. On the display here, you can see it'll change in just a second. You just gotta wait until it figures out that it's connected. Oh, that's because I haven't connected that. I told you I'm a newbie. Anyway, there we go. Now it'll figure it out. Come on. Here we go. And it's connected. Ta-da! So now you can see on the screen, you can see that's what the drone is seeing. All you got to do is just press I'll get out of the way as you can see it, take off. Press the little button there, and then hold down take off. And that's it. That's all you need to do. It's very easy. And it's a bit windy today as well. So we're just gonna press up, and off it goes. Bit windy, but it manages it. So it has a level 5 wind thing. You can see it's going to go up there, and we can turn around and we can look down at me and we can see ourselves here recording. There you go. See, there I am. Hello, hello. Isn't that good? So that's how easy it is. It's now up, as you can see, 22 meters, pretty high up, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to show you a few of the bits that the software does now on the phone, and then I think that's it for the first impressions here of my DJI Mini 3 Pro. Exactly. This is the DJI mobile phone application that sits on the controller. You can see first of all there's a warning here that I only have 5 meters down to the ground. If I click on the right here, the top icon, I can choose between video and photo. If I choose photo, there's a bunch of different ways that I can take photos as well. It actually takes really clear, really nice photos as well. Various different spurts and whatnot. For example, I can go to the video here. I can film going across the llamas if that's what I want to do. And with the video, there also are a lot of what's called quick shots. So down here, if I choose quick shots, I can choose Droney. So that's the one I used right at the start of the video. That goes away from me. Rocket, which you'll see probably at the end of the video. Circle, which you'll see a little bit later as well, where it circles around a focal point. Or I can use hyperlapse, which gives you a whole, like super fast time lapse. Or in this case, I can do panorama. So I can choose a sphere, a 180, or wide angle photo. So this is where the drone will take a bunch of photos and stitch them together. So I'm going to do a 180 degree photo here. So it'll actually take, I'll take 12, 15 photos, something like that, a whole bunch of them. And then it'll stitch them together into one big photo. And it looks really, really neat. It's really well stitched together. So that's software for you. There's some processing. And you can see I can move across the llamas here as well. So I'm going to fly across them while this is processing. So everything is very instant. Everything is very real time. I'm going to fly across the farm here. You can see there's me. And there's Hunter, the dog. Hello. I'm waving at the camera there. Then on the right hand side here, you can see there's a little play icon. That's actually going into the camera roll, or all of what is on the drone here. In this case, if I'm connected to the drone, I can see all that. There's also the app album, so everything you record also goes on the phone. It's like a cache in case you lose it. That's really handy. I use that a lot. And what you can do with that is that you don't need to transfer everything off the drone in order to use them and sort of share them or make little videos. It is very cool. It gets that in just a second. So here I'm going a bit further up. You can see the height is going up now to 37 meters. So if I go back into the album and I click on create, I get these templates, which I'm not a big fan of. Templates generally is a bit meh because it sort of dictates a look and feel, which I'm not a big fan of. But I can choose the Pro version, and I can choose a bunch of videos here, and it'll then actually let me create a video, and it's really, really well done on the phone with music and transitions and everything. The create functions is great. And just to show you a couple of examples of the types of videos that it'll produce. Oh, I didn't mean to go in there. Let's go back. Is that in here again on the video, you can choose these master shots. So you can choose somewhere on the screen that'll then be the focal point. It'll create this massive video from it. I haven't tried that yet because I'm a bit scared of it, to be honest. Here's an example of the circle quick shot. This is sped up. It takes about a minute, but I'll show you that at the end of the video as well. So that just does a circle around a focal point. So I've chosen the roundabout there in the middle. And then there's this weird asteroid one, which this is just an example of the sort of odd things you can do with a drone. So in this case, it'll show the llamas and then go really quickly up and then create this sort of 360 sphere type view. Bit odd.
So that's it. That's the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to use it in a ton of video. I can use, to look at things from above, like I'm doing a gate opener right now. There'll be a video on that. I can show you all the infrastructure from above. As you can see, you can film me now. Hello. It really is super simple to use. Of course, you're always going to have crashes and into trees and whatnot. I'm trying not to fly into trees. It's a bit easy out here because there's not many obstacles. But I'm very, very happy with it, to be honest. Yes, it's expensive. It's like 800 euros was the one in Stockholm, which is it, I don't know, $800 or something in the US, and $1,000 here, 1,100 in Australia. It's not cheap, but it is worth every dollar, penny, or cent, because it is, I think this is the best consumer drone I've come across. Again, I haven't used many, I haven't seen many, but my God, it's easy. So, what do you think? Is there anything that I missed? I mean, I'm gonna keep using the drone. This is the first time I'm using it. As such, I've only had it for a couple of weeks. So these are just my first impressions, but let me know what you wanna see. What do you want me to film? Are the features that I need to go into? Is there accessories that I can use? I don't know. So I want you to tell me in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing. I interact with all my subscribers through the comments if you leave a comment. And I hope to see you next time in the next video, which may include drone footage, I think. Bye.